SportG.
ChristopherMedia.net.
If you look around, you'll see the world can be pretty smart. Okay, very smart. At Capella University, we think education should be smart too. That's why we're reshaping online learning with our FlexPath format. You can set your own deadlines, take classes at your own pace, even leverage your previous experience to move faster. So when it comes to earning your bachelor's degree, you know what kind of choice to make. A smart one. Visit capella.edu to learn more. Capella University. Don't just learn, learn smarter.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to SportG,
the show that gives you half-ass sports fans giving their half-ass opinions.
And now, here are your hosts.
All right, it's Fantasy Hack. We're here for week 4. It always goes so quick. Got a quarter of the way through the regular season already. I'm Chris, JR, and Jack are with me. Say hello, fellas.
Hello, everybody. JR here. What's up?
Depressed Eagles fans in the house.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. But, yeah, another week of fantasy in the books. How'd you guys do? I went 1-4. So, two good weeks to start off, and then, yeah, this week, or not so much.
I think I went 6-5, but I lost where it counted in my big money league. My largest money league, I lost. I'm 2-1 now, and I didn't have a very good week. So I thought I had a stacked lineup too, but a lot of guys didn't perform, and a lot of unsung heroes that you would have never thought did perform. So we'll talk about that soon.
How'd you do, Jack?
Well, last week's injuries just killed me, and I think I won in half or below half my leagues because Saquon was the huge one. I had Saquon in like 4 leagues. He goes down, and I just was scrambling, find stuff. Mike Thomas was killing me. Who were the other guys? CMC, I had him in a couple leagues. Just decimated.
Yeah, I hear you. So some of the lineups I had going this week, I told some people, I had no business winning this week. I should not have won this week. You should have beat me this week. Some of the people I had started, because you had CMC and Saquon, Cortland Sutton, all those hurt. So, yeah, I feel your pain there, Jack. And then this week, telling you guys in the chat, this week, a lot of things that happened this past week I would not bank on happening. It's fantasy mirage, whatever you want to call it. Don't fall for a lot of the stuff that happened this week. Just simply because, some of the names that you saw this week are okay. Like, my example is Jimmy Graham was one of the top tight ends of the week. How often do you see that happening for the rest of the season?
Not very often.
Yeah. If this were 2010, I'd be pretty pumped.
You know what? Maybe with Nick Foles, maybe he likes the tight end. He liked the tight end in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be betting. I wouldn't be investing too heavily in Mr. Graham.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the coin, there are a lot of guys that produce that you would never expect. I'm looking at my lineup from that money league I just described, and I got a whole 13 points from Lamar Jackson. Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying. How often is that going to happen?
Or 3 yards. There's no Phillip Lindsay. He's supposed to get all the carries, right? Mm-hmm. 8 rushes for 26 yards. 4 receptions, 12 yards. Thanks for nothing, Melvin Gordon. Zeke Elliott even. 14 rushes, 34 yards, 11 points only because he got a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, only 11 points. DJ Moore, 6. CD Lamb, 6. Hunter Henry, 5. The Ravens defense gave me 10 because they got a kickoff return. Even they sucked. So that's what kind of a week it was. I mean, you look at that lineup going into the week, you're feeling pretty good. So what were some other unbelievable one-hit wonders from this week?
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I had James Robinson, but I don't know. I might stick with him. Who else is there as running back?
No, he's been producing. So
Yeah, he has been producing. He had a big week, I think. Thursday night?
Yeah.
I watched the game. Yeah, he had a big day.
Almost 31 fantasy points.
outscored Zeke Elliott and Jonathan Taylor combined. Oh, you might as well throw Melvin Gordon in there too. That's a whole 25 points for all three of them. So they ask me why I drink.
Yeah.
Had a few beers during the games Saturday watching this all unfold. And then the saga of Carson Wentz, who continues after such a promising young first couple years of his career. It seems to be going backwards.
In his defense, there is nobody to throw to.
There was nobody to throw to last year, and he was much better.
Yeah, but I mean, you really got nobody. Deshaun Jackson's hurt. You're down to what? What's his name? Ward?
Greg Ward.
Greg Ward.
Yeah.
Got a touchdown.
Yeah, I have a feeling Jalen Hurts is going to be starting a few games before the end of the year in Philadelphia.
Well, I know there's some fans in Philly that would love to see that, but I'm not really one of them. I think Wentz. I think the injuries to the offensive line is leaning to that. But that being said, when it comes to fantasy, who really do you want on the Eagles now? You know, maybe Miles Sanders and maybe Zach Ertz, and that's it. Even Dallas Goedert got hurt.
That's it. Miles Sanders has been since, I have him on a couple teams. Yeah, he hasn't let me down starting him, so yeah, him and Ertz, that's about it.
Justin Jefferson, 175 yards?
Yeah.
Who would have thunk?
What about the dubbed Lazard King?
Yeah.
Alan
Six
Lazard?
catches, 146 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, after I went and
In the
picked up
Superdome.
yes, in like 3 leagues. I picked up the wrong guy.
Well, that's the thing, though, right? I mean, if Devontae Adams starts, he doesn't have that day. It seems to be the person who thrives in the Green Bay offense, receiver-wise, is not the number one starting receiver. It's Devontae Adams. It seems MVS is going to have a good day. And if MVS is number one, it seems Lazard's going to have a another one thing I wanted don't buy it. Rex Burkhead.
Yeah, no.
How many seasons have we all fallen for that?
I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid.
Yeah, as soon as James White is back, Rex Burkhead's back to maybe 4 or 5 points a fantasy game.
Yeah, matter of fact, I'm pretty much avoiding that Patriots running game altogether.
Yeah.
Except in PPR. James White in PPR is always solid.
Trust me, I have him on my big money team, and that's the only thing that's keeping him on the team is he's a good PPR value. So,
standard leagues don't even blink.
Yeah.
Don't look.
So, but it's Matthew Barry. We talked about Jack's the Yahoo guy, you're the RotoWire guy, I'm the ESPN guy. He talks about fantasy football fundamentals. One of the things he always brings up, other than minimize risk, is what's most likely to happen. And that to me, that was kind of the theme of this week. All these people who had great weeks who never have great weeks, all these people who came out of nowhere and had a great week. Like, what's most likely to happen? Is Lazard having another week like this next week? Probably not. Is Rex Burkhead going to keep this up? Probably not. So, a lot of stuff that happened this week, don't buy.
Well, coming off that, I think the most laughable thing I've seen in a while, I always go to the Yahoo transaction trends to see who people are picking up. And at number 3, I see Mo Alley Cox, who was playing the Jets, caught three balls for 50 yards and a touchdown, and here comes 7,611 people to pick him up because he scored 1 touchdown out of his 3 catches against the New York Jets. Like, what? Come on, people.
That just goes to show you how thin the tight end position is.
Oh, I got a couple claims in for him simply because the Jack Doyle experiment is even when how long's he been in Indy, and it always seems it's the other tight end who does well.
Even Eric Ebron was good there.
Yeah. Which there was trust me, there was I have a couple claims in for him simply because there was I forget who, but the people that were in front of him, I'm like, no, not buying it. So it's I guess we get to waivers. Like, if you need a tight end, he's there. He ain't the best option, but yeah, fun week. Well, I guess let's get into waiver wires. I mean, it's let's start at quarterback. Who you guys looking at?
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles. That's your hot QB waiver wire pickup this week.
Well, there's not a whole lot out there. You could do worse. At least he's there. I'm not going for Nick Mullins.
How about Joe Burrow? He seems to be still available in a lot of leagues.
Not most of the leagues I'm in, he's not available. But yeah, he's available. I'd grab him.
He's got respectable numbers. Is he going to be your starter? No, but he'd be a good guy to stash on the bench. Jared Goff. I'm still seeing him available on a lot of leagues.
Yeah, that's a good one. I picked him up in the league last week. I don't think there's many leagues with him available, but if he is, that's a good option. I know a lot of people went on the Minshew Magic bandwagon, and I think he had a really disappointing week. Was he like 5 points or something last week?
Yeah, he was under in the Yahoo league I have him in. He had like just under 11 points. He did not do well.
What about you chucking Justin Herbert on the bench? 35 completions, 330 yards, and a touchdown. Threw a pick.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, that's Yahoo 47 points. He had 48 in the game against Kansas City. I mean, he's looked good.
Yeah. Oh, so it also seems it's time to have our yearly discussion about Fitzmagic. Right now, he's there. His number.
I got a waiver claim in him.
He's playing Seattle next week. Don't even think about it.
Yeah, his numbers look good.
Seattle's defense stinks.
Yeah, Seattle
really
carrying him.
Yeah, Seattle. Seattle is kind of in this. It's ironic they played Dallas last week because they both kind of got the same thing going on. They got a great offense going on, but their defense is letting a lot of points through.
Yeah, I'm desperate to be picking up Fitzmagic, but I think I have Wentz and Daniel Jones.
Ooh.
So I'm dropping Daniel Jones and bringing in Fitzpatrick to be my backup, assuming I get him on the waiver claim. I can't imagine there'd be much demand for Fitzmagic, but you know what? You could do worse.
Yeah.
And then another guy to avoid, the ageless Phillip Rivers. God bless him.
He's not even a top 25 quarterback this week in
Sirius today. I heard that he was like the 27th best fantasy quarterback so far.
Yeah,
that means it's probably time to hang up the cleats, Phillip.
Yeah.
Great long career, but I think the best days are behind him.
Oh, for sure.
And then there is you could always take a Hail Mary on Nick Mullins. I mean, he is playing the Eagles.
He's playing the Eagles. Pick him up.
If he starts over Garoppolo, it could be a 1 week fill-in. Hopefully, no one's that desperate. At least, there's no bye weeks yet. So, although there may be a bye week this week with the COVID issues with the Tennessee Titans. Stay tuned for that.
The Eagles versus San Francisco for the battle of who has the worst receiving core.
Well, Greg Ward will be probably the best receiver on the field.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know about that one. And it's a Sunday night game, so everybody gets to watch it.
Oh,
that's the prime. You kidding me? That's the prime time game. Oof. Oh my Lord!
Going to bed early Sunday.
Yeah, at least with Collinsworth announcing, I can put Pink Floyd on and just watch the video.
Yeah. So
all right, let's move to running backs. Big debate or a big controversy in Seattle last week when one of the Cowboys wrapped up Chris Carson, which leads me to Carlos Hyde is probably going to be one of your big waiver pickups this week. And that was a pretty bad dirty tackle. I forget there's a little name for it, but they twisted his ankle pretty bad when he rolled, and I don't remember the Cowboy that made the tackle, but everybody's crying for him to be suspended, and Pete Carroll was livid about it. But at the end of the day, Carson's out. Hyde is probably in, but don't be surprised if the Seahawks go to Travis Homer too, because I was watching that game and Homer got plenty of carries after Carson went out. So everybody just assumes Hyde's going to be the guy because of his experience. So that's not a pleasant situation either. That Chris Carson, Travis Homer, is it going to be Homer or Hyde? Probably could be pretty risky to put a Seattle running back in your lineup this week.
Yeah, I would.
Predicting that it would be Hyde, probably. That's what most of the services are doing. But I'm also reading that Homer might be getting the goal line touches. So who knows? But you will be starting Russell Wilson because he's really the whole show in Seattle.
Yeah.
And we've already talked about the Rex Burkhead. Don't go there. J.J. Taylor, Damian Harris, the other New England running backs to avoid. Sony Michel came back from the dead last week, and I'll bet you he's probably not to be heard from for another month.
Yeah.
That is just too many running backs, and you never know which one's going to be effective on a week. Any other running backs of note?
Well, I have Murphy's Law to point out here. Deion Lewis was dropped by like 16,000 people after getting no rushing yards. So I think he's going to, probably go off next week because that's how it's going to work.
Yeah.
That's just how the world works.
Could be.
And how about Darrell Henderson? Hasn't he been playing good? 59 fantasy points, 20 rush attempts, 114 rushing yards, a rush touchdown, and he caught, a ball for 6 yards.
Yeah, and Malcolm Brown played. So it looks like Henderson might be emerging as the guy here for the Rams.
But for how long?
That's a very good question.
Sean McVay likes to juggle his running backs. Goes with the hot running back every week, and that's not good for fantasy. But keep an eye on it because the Rams have a good offense, and somebody's going to produce every week if you can just figure out which one.
Yep.
Are you buying the Myles Gaskin hype?
He's getting the
22
ball.
rushes.
Damn.
Six.
Damn.
Yeah, he's
sheer volume alone. He is taking the job in Miami.
Which they paid Jordan Howard all that money. I don't get it, but it is what it is, right? You go with the hot hand. Myles Gaskin seems to be, and he's on waiver wire. So if you see him and you need a running back, it's worth a shot. He's got respectable numbers. He's
got volume.
Yeah, through 3 games. Let's see here.
Shout out Frank Gore for the 57 yards.
Yeah, matches his age.
No, I've sworn off all New York Jets this season. There's just nobody.
New York should swear off all New York Jets to see. New York City in general should just take this year off for pro football.
Yeah, and shame on me. I took a chance on Daniel Jones as my backup. I was really thinking this was going to be a breakout year for him, and he's going south just like Carson Wentz is.
What's ugly is
Go
ahead.
I was going to say another old man, AP, 85 total yards.
Yeah, it's another one. Don't fall for it.
He's not going to break the 100-yard mark this season probably, but he's good for 6 to 8 points if you got nobody better to go.
Keep in mind, who does he play for?
AP, the Lions.
Yeah. So there's that.
Then there's me who drafted Kerryon Johnson in like 3 leagues. He's off of all my rosters now, but who would have thought that he would be a bust and AP would be getting 78 yards? But that's the Lions for you.
Yeah. Let's see.
Why play a young guy that might have a future when you could play a dinosaur that's going to be out of the league in a year or two?
That's the Patriot way, though, right? Backfield by committee.
That's true. Only the Patriots have 5 rings, and the Lions have, 5 years of futility? Is it 4 or 5 years he's been there?
It seems like 5. I think this is actually only his 3rd season.
I think it could be his final. I think things are looking pretty bleak for his long-term.
That win saved him.
But the Ford family has been known to keep people way too long and give them way too much time to fail.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. You have Sheila Hampford in there. It doesn't matter. It's from the same family. They'll still run it into the ground.
Yep. The only thing the Fords will do for Detroit is at least they'll never move the team.
Yeah.
That pretty questionable ownership. Other than that, let's go to receivers. We've already talked about the Lazard King.
Yeah.
Lazard. Just when I picked up MVS in 3 leagues, Lazard's the guy. So now I've had to drop him and try to pick up Lazard, and some people have already picked him up, before last week. So Justin Jefferson's going to be a big hot name.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Ayuk,
I drafted him in like 3 leagues. Cut him when he was injured, like for the first 3 or 4 weeks, and now he comes in and he's decent. We'll see. I don't know. He does play the Eagles this week. And speaking of Eagles, Greg Ward. I'm looking at RotoWire right now, and it says he's the last man standing at wide receiver.
Ouch.
You got to throw it to somebody. Can't throw every ball to Zach Ertz.
Yeah, that's true. Can't dump it to Sanders the entire game.
T. Higgins had 2 touchdowns, but it was against the Eagles. But he did get 9 targets, and now he only caught 5, but he did get 9 targets, which is promising, I guess.
Speaking of targets, Greg Ward 11 targets last week.
Greg Ward.
Let's see here.
Scotty Miller from Buccaneers. Looks like Chris Godwin is dinged again. He misses the game. Miller could be Miller time in Tampa Bay.
People picking up Randall Cobb after going 4 for 4, 95 yards and a touchdown. I am not.
No.
Not even.
Randall Cobb's one of those guys I've had on my roster before, and I'll never have him on again.
Yeah.
How about Cedric Wilson? Is anybody drinking that Kool-Aid?
What, the Cowboy?
The Cowboy.
Yeah, no.
Scored 2 touchdowns Sunday. Somebody will pick him up. It won't be me.
He's got 2 guys in front of him. He's got CeeDee Lamb. He's got Amari Cooper. I just think
there's a lot of mouths to feed in Dallas, so that's a tough one.
I think the reason he had the game he had is what we already talked about. How Seattle's defense isn't that great against the pass.
Picked them apart.
Yeah, but Dallas also not that good against the pass either.
Vegas Raiders? How about Hunter Renfrow? He's available in most leagues. 6 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown.
Who even is the wide receiver 1 there? Like, they're just discombobulated.
Well, Henry Ruggs was out for the game.
That's right.
So Renfrow stepped in. It was a respectable performance, but again, if you're picking up and expecting those same numbers this week, you're probably going to be disappointed.
And we talked about this. There's only 2 Raiders worth owning:
Jacobs and Waller.
Yeah,
I've been high on
Waller was hurt, and I fortunately benched him in one of my big leagues, and he only got, I think, two catches for 6 yards or something. He had a very I heard he was hurt, so I thought he might not play, so I took him out.
Well,
I think played Hunter Henry over him, and that turned out to be a wise move.
He was technically not hurt, but he was, so the game plan didn't really include him much because they didn't want to risk him. So, do you think Allen Robinson's stock goes up now that Nick Foles is throwing to him?
No doubt. Foles went to him a lot after he came in the game.
He caught a bomb for a touchdown. It got called back, though.
Interesting, too, that Robinson is jockeying for a new contract with the Bears. He unfollowed everybody on social media, and he's made it known. If you ask him, he denies, "Oh, no, I'm a team player," but everything. But all the other actions you see, he's definitely unhappy. But you know what? He's probably playing for a contract, so he's still going to ball. But, yeah, he's on a lot of guys' benches. He should probably be starting now. Not sure who the Bears play. We can look at that shortly when we go through the schedule.
Tyler Boyd a thing?
Oh, my gosh.
One-hit wonder.
Jack and I were waiting for the games to start Sunday, and I said one of the shows, the pregame shows.
It was Matt Berry. It was the fantasy football show.
I took Boyd out and put MVS in, and that cost me the game. That cost me my game. One of my Yahoo leagues.
Yeah, I'm not sure about any Bengals pass catcher.
That happens to me a lot when I make those last-minute Sunday morning changes. I got I hear something on, oh, no, this guy's going to be good. And trust your gut.
Mm-hmm.
When I set the lineup, my gut said Boyd, and then I heard something, okay. I think it was almost like, the Packers will be on the night game, and I'd love to have MVS. That'll be more exciting to watch the game. And it was exciting watching my team lose because I didn't put Tyler Boyd in. I took him out of the lineup. So, and me of all people knows that against the Eagles, that was a must start.
Mm-hmm.
So I deserve to lose.
Sporgy.
ChristopherMedia.net.
If you look around, you'll see the world can be pretty smart. Okay, very smart. At Capella University, we think education should be smart too. That's why we're reshaping online learning with our FlexPath format. You can set your own deadlines, take classes at your own pace, even leverage your previous experience to move faster. So when it comes to earning your bachelor's degree, you know what kind of choice to make. A smart one. Visit capella.edu to learn more. Capella University. Don't just learn smarter.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth, and always open at homedepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Sporgy.
And let's see, very few tight ends. We already talked about the who's the Colts guy, Jack?
Mo Alley Cox.
And I'm seeing here that the Bengals lost their starting tight end, C.J. Uzoma, and now they're down to Drew Sample.
Ooh.
1 catch, 1 yard. But had 9 targets from Joe Burrow the week before, so that's really, really desperate times. Jimmy Graham, Chris already mentioned.
Don't buy
it. But, I mean, when we're talking about the likes of Drew Sample and Mo Alley Cox, Graham suddenly may be right there with those guys.
Yeah, tight ends. I'll tell you, I am officially this week getting out of the Evan Ingram business.
Yeah. Well, we talked about don't draft any Jets. I think now that Saquon Barkley's gone, no Giants either. Just forget about New York this year.
Yeah, I got Devontae Freeman on a team, and it's simply because he's holding this. He's holding the roster spot for CMC, and he's got maybe 1 or 2 more weeks before he comes back. And when I dump Freeman, I don't see him being anything. So yeah, no Giants, but yeah, tight ends. It's funny. You look at the top 10 tight ends, at least for this week, and it's about any tight end you'd want to own. Anybody else is a crapshoot. It's Kelsey, Kittle, Waller, Andrews, Zach Ertz, Gesicki, Hunter Henry, Noah Fant, Jonnu Smith, Hayden Hurst. Yeah, I'd say after that, every other tight end is flip a coin.
But Dalton Schultz now starter for the Cowboys. His matchup against the Browns, and then he has the Giants in 2 weeks. If somebody gets hurt, I might have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I know nothing. I see nothing. Schultz.
Yeah.
So before we go into this week's schedule, what a disappointment last night was. We thought we were going to see the game of the year, and the Ravens forgot to show up. Or was it the Chiefs are just that good?
I think it's more of the Chiefs and Ravens have played enough at this point to where I think the Chiefs got the Ravens figured out.
Well, Lamar Jackson just didn't look like himself. I mean, he had guys wide open. He was missing. He looked like Carson Wentz out there.
Oh, you know who I'm mad at? I'm mad at Mark Andrews for dropping that touchdown and dropping other stuff. He looked bad. He almost cost me. I won by like 0.8.
Yeah, the Ravens really were out of sync. But let's look at this week's. And we got another dud on Thursday night. The Denver Broncos at the New York Jets.
Oh,
so we got
of the worst offenses.
Denver, and we got Sam Darnold. You got what is it? Driscoll, Jeff Driscoll.
Yeah.
And Sam Darnold. That's all you need to know about this game. So.
Well, no, they're expected to start another guy. Actually, they're not going to start Driscoll. They're starting Oh, what's his name? I'm trying to think. I just saw it. Oh, yeah, there it is. Here you go. Ready for this one? Brett Ripien.
Oh, yeah. Brett Rippin. Mark Rippin's kid.
2019 undrafted free agent Brett Rippin to start week 4 for Broncos.
Oh, my
This is going to be great. Dude, can we get Flacco in for the Jets? Just make this interesting.
Is Ball State playing Austin Peay? Because that probably would be more exciting.
Is that where Flacco is now? Is he a Jet?
Yeah, he's the backup for the Jets.
Wow. Oof.
Well, I don't think you need to get your popcorn ready for that one. But you know what? It's football, and we'll probably all still watch it. Right?
Who do you, Melvin Gordon? Is that the only fantasy player you start in that game?
Well, you know what? I'm thinking the Broncos' defense might not be bad because defenses have been feasting on the Jets. Didn't the Colts play the Jets last week?
Yeah, and they murdered them.
Yeah, and the Colts got like tons. I picked up the Colts because they were playing the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're streaming defenses, look for those Denver Broncos. This is the week.
Yeah, Thursday night
and that's really about it. Melvin Gordon and the Denver defense. I can't recommend anybody else involved in this game.
Yeah, and it'd almost be fantasy football malpractice to recommend anybody else in that game.
I think once I hit my third beer, I'll probably be sleeping during this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to Sunday to better things. Indianapolis at Chicago. Nick Foles get a little bit more tests this week. He has been named the starter. I also believe Tariq Cohen is out for the season. Big surprise there.
Yep, towards MCL.
So
we'll see you next year.
Allen Robinson, I'd probably starting him. Anybody else? Do you dare to start David Montgomery?
No.
Only if you really have to.
Yeah.
Indianapolis, Jonathan Taylor is a must start. You're not starting Phillip Rivers. He's older than me.
I think T.Y. Hilton has lost some of his must-start luster.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like
but that Colts defense, though.
Yeah.
Colts defense has been looking good.
They were a waiver wire pickup from last
Jets.
week that it paid off handsomely. I think I got as many points out of them as you'd get out of a few quarterbacks.
Any other Colts worthy of a start? Is Mo Alley Cox? He's a Colt, isn't he?
I recommend him for if you need a backup tight end. I wouldn't say he's a starter. But if you're thin at tight end, or just if you want someone as insurance in case your starter gets hurt. But yeah, I wouldn't call him a starter.
All right, we got another barn burner after that. The Jacksonville Jaguars at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oof. Hopefully DJ Chark comes back.
Hopefully.
James Robinson's probably maybe a flex. I don't want to.
James Robinson is definitely a good start this week at RB2 or flex. The Bengals give up chunks of yards, and the Eagles were too dumb to run Sanders more than they did. They tried to be cute and throw the ball when Sanders was gaining like 5 yards a carry. So I would start Robinson. I don't know what to think about Joe Mixon, man. I guess you got to start him. You drafted him pretty high, but
he's getting the ball.
Volume only. And what about Tyler Boyd? I think is AJ Green hurt now?
No, he's just old.
Just ineffective.
Yeah.
Just like he should be on the same team as Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, it's
any other Bengals worthy? No tight end, really.
Cincinnati's one of those teams you don't want much of. All you really should own from Cincinnati is Joe Mixon. Everyone else, you're taking a chance, in my opinion.
Maybe Joe Burrow could be a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
But starter, you're in trouble. And let's move to the Cleveland at Dallas game.
Some people are saying this will be a shootout.
Go Browns.
So, interesting debate here. Who's better, Jarvis Landry or OBJ? OBJ's got the name, but who would you rather have on your team?
Neither. I've already dropped Jarvis Landry this year.
I think he's better than OBJ, though. I have a roster where I have them both. I don't know how that happened, and I don't know how to get out of it. I tried to trade OBJ, and I can't even get a box of raisins for him.
Nope. There's two Browns worth owning, and they're both the running backs.
Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb.
Yeah. Any other position, you're in trouble if you're starting. You're starting OBJ. I've said it a million times in this podcast. He is just he's riding out that one. He's made a career out of that one-handed catch from 5 years ago.
Yep. Hard to argue with you.
I don't want it. Austin Hooper. It seems like he needs Matt Ryan thrown to him to be any good. Yeah, it's and then Cowboys. You want the usual suspects.
Zeke.
Yeah, Zeke, Dak, Amari Cooper.
CeeDee Lamb, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a flex at best, though. And then you got Michael Gallup. You're probably going to start him as if you have him. But we talked about it earlier, with Cedric Wilson in there. There's too many mouths to feed.
Yeah, and they're always going to feed Amari Cooper first because they paid him a lot of money. All right, what's next on the slate there, JR?
I got the Saints at your beloved Detroit Lions. I think this is going to be a tough. I think the Saints are really are pissed, and I think it's a really bad time for them to be going to Detroit.
Yeah, Saints are going to be mad, and they're going to take it out on the Detroit defense.
But you never know. Detroit beat the Cardinals last week, but I don't see it happening.
I see it more as the Cardinals beat the Cardinals last week.
Yeah, well, Alvin Kamara is a no-brainer. Drew Brees is a no-brainer. I don't think Michael Thomas is going to be back yet, is he?
He's got the Q. He's gone from the D to the Q next to his name.
Well, so keep an eye on that. Obviously, that would be a big boost. And I'm sure you would agree as a Lions fan that this is probably the week he will come back just because they're playing the Lions, right?
Oh, yeah. I expect everyone on the Saints to have a career day on Sunday.
Hey, and Kenny Galladay got a touchdown. Are you starting him for Detroit? You have to think they'll be behind and throwing a lot.
Well, if we're going by volume play, yeah, he's getting the ball. Want none of the Detroit backfield. AP is another fantasy mirage. Don't buy it, folks.
What happened? Where's DeAndre Swift been? He's like invisible.
Being a rookie. He's letting the old man show him up. Old man AP comes in from Washington, taking his carries.
Currently streaming the Saints defense as we speak.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is Jared Cook a thing still?
I mean, kind of. I think I have him in like one league.
He's like tight end.
He's an if.
10 to 15. He's probably a backup on most teams. If he's your starting tight end, you're probably don't have a great record.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh at Tennessee, the game that may not happen because of COVID.
I heard it's the contingency plan is Monday. Like they're planning on playing that game Sunday. If Sunday doesn't go down, Monday.
But is 24 hours really the solution to that? I heard there was another plan where they might. Right now, the league is saying proceed as the game will be played Sunday. But if things get any worse, I think they're going to have to skip this week.
Well, they've
Pittsburgh
canceled all the practices, and I think they're going to.
Tennessee will be playing basically with no practice this week. Gives Pittsburgh a huge advantage if the game takes place. But I also heard Pittsburgh could switch bye with somebody, or there was a contingency that they could essentially skip, change the bye weeks to accommodate this. But stay tuned, watch it. But let's just, for the sake of the show, who are you starting on Pittsburgh? I think James Conner is back.
Yeah, Juju seems to be back as well.
And what I'm reading is Juju is not the number one receiver, which is why he does well. He can't be the lead. Deontay Johnson, I think, was the number one, but he got hurt, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't know where that leaves them. Tennessee's got a pretty good defense, and so does Pittsburgh. Take the under.
Mm-hmm.
Take the under. Derrick Henry is obviously he's going to get some carries. It could be one of those, 3 yards in a cloud of dust all day. Two good defenses. Probably Connor and Derrick Henry battling it out on the ground for most of the action. But
the only other Titan I'm starting or saying to start would be Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, what about Corey Davis? I don't think I'd be playing him against the Steelers.
Corey Davis he's a bench player.
Is Fuller still hurt? Is Fuller healthy? I'm not sure.
You mean A.J. Brown?
Fuller for Tennessee?
No, Will Fuller's on Texans.
Oh, never mind. Who was I thinking of? Who's the guy in Tennessee?
A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown, that's who I was thinking of. I knew they had a guy that was hurt because that vaulted Corey Davis into actually fantasy relevancy for once. So my mistake, A.J. Brown. And
What
that's Jack's favorite guy.
What I'm hearing is he's taking his time healing up with the bone bruise on his knee. He might miss another week.
Well, probably not a good week to play any Tennessee wide receivers then against that Pittsburgh D.
Yeah.
All right, Seattle Seahawks at Miami.
Ooh.
Seattle's secondary is suspect. I like the old man Fitzmagic this week, but as a backup.
Yeah.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Russell Wilson has 15 touchdowns in 3 weeks.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is on fire.
He's probably going to have 20 after 4 weeks.
I have him in, I think, either 2 or 3 leagues, and he is just on fire. He's the MVP of the league through 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Small sample size, but as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah, you're starting Russell. You're starting Tyler Lockett.
Well, as far about that running game, probably Carlos Hyde is the most likely. But you got Travis Homer there, too, so be wary of that.
It's a good week to stay away from the Seattle backfield.
Yeah, and then, Myles Gaskin.
Only if you're hurting.
Only if you're hurting. Maybe Mike Gesicki could be a consideration at tight end.
Yeah, he's wormed his way into probably, if you own Gesicki, he's probably your starter. You know, for me, I'm lucky in a couple leagues. He's my backup. But he's starter worthy.
He's like Jared Cook area type beat somewhere in there.
On the bubble.
Fair.
Yeah.
Probably touchdown dependent.
Yeah.
That's about it for that game. Let's go to the Los Angeles Chargers. Still can't get used to calling them Los Angeles. They should be San Diego. But
San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, they've been in
Los Angeles Chargers at the Tampa Bay Brady's, the Bucks.
Are you starting any Chargers? Keenan Allen, maybe?
I feel like you have to. If you haven't, you just have to start. Well, I mean, I don't know. Depending on how big your league is, he could be a bench guy.
Austin Eckler, maybe.
No, you never know who's getting the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eckler seems to have dropped a notch this year.
I don't even think it's knowing who's getting the ball. I just feel like they do a good job of balancing out the workload. Like all of them get a pretty equal amount of carries and touches in general.
Mike Williams, he's another guy that's probably not going to crack too many starting lineups.
Hunter Henry.
And then we go to list. Okay. Are you starting Brady?
He looked good. He had, 3 touchdowns?
He's getting to that territory. I don't know if I say you're starting him yet, but another week that looks like the last couple, and probably
pretty soon here.
And Leonard Fournette disappeared off the face of the earth this week. I think he had 1 point.
That's what he does, man. He did it on Jacksonville. It looks like he's going to keep doing it in Tampa Bay.
And a dud. Huge week.
He's along for the ride. He's ring chasing.
Rojo, no thanks.
Yeah.
Rojo means no Joe for me.
Godwin's hurt. So I think you must start Buccaneers, Mike Evans. That's about it.
Baltimore Ravens at the Washington football team. You just got to think that Lamar Jackson is seething after that embarrassment. And I think, much like the Lions having to face the Saints this week, this is probably not a good situation for the Washington football team.
I expect them to
Trace McSorley is going to be getting snaps in the 4th.
Yeah, I think Jackson's going to go off. Mark Andrews should come back to life. I don't know what happened against the Chiefs, but they've got to be.
Chiefs happen.
I expect that game to get ugly quickly.
Yeah, you might even start multiple Baltimore running backs, which normally is a situation that I would avoid. But you got Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, three-headed monster. And Gus Edwards was getting some carries in that game. I was watching it and thinking, you know what, I'm glad I don't have any of those guys. I do have Dobbins in a couple leagues, but they hardly used him.
Yeah, I'm an Ingram owner, and it's been feast or famine this year with him.
Hollywood Brown's probably starting. You're probably going to start Hollywood Brown. You're going to start Mark Andrews for sure. I don't know. Anybody else on the Ravens that you would start?
No.
Their defense.
Their defense, absolutely, against the Washington football team.
Well, that might not be true. I feel like there's going to be some garbage time. McLaurin points.
Yeah, McLaurin's probably the only Redskin that I would recommend starting.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. The only person on Washington I'm even thinking of starting is Terry McLaurin. Everyone else, No, thank you.
Nope. And we have the Arizona Cardinals at Carolina. I think they'll bounce back after that.
Sure will.
Kyler Murray is a start.
Especially with no CMC.
Kyler Murray's
Like Davis season.
field, man. He had some pretty he had some pretty careless passes this last week, but boy, he's fast. And he's pretty smart about running out of bounds and sliding when he's supposed to.
DeAndre Hopkins is the number one. He's on ESPN. He's wide receiver 1 this week. Yeah. Against that defense, I can see that.
What that defense is not the same without Luke Kuechly.
Just what are they doing in Carolina? Like, are they just playing for a draft pick? I mean, I figured when they named Teddy Bridgewater their starting QB for the season, like, it seemed like they gave up before the season even started.
Well, I think once CMC went down, that really crippled them a lot.
Yeah,
I've got DJ Moore in a few leagues, and he's like 70 yards every week. No touchdowns hardly ever.
Yeah, he's been underwhelming. I'm an owner of him too.
Underwhelming. Yep.
Robbie Anderson been taking the.
He's actually quietly putting up.
We went into the season like nobody was talking about him on fantasy, and I remember his days in New York, and he wasn't a bad start. Maybe at flex, he wasn't that bad. He'd get a touchdown every other week, and he's doing good. I think I saw something. He was top 5 in yards or something, but we'll see how long that lasts.
I'll be starting Mike Davis just because he's CMC
volume.
Yep,
volume. But I'm not expecting more than about 8 points out of him. He might get a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Still have no idea who their tight end is now.
Nope. It ain't Greg Olson because he's in Seattle now.
Some guy, I think his last name is Marchance or something like that. It's something, or no, Chris Manhertz. That is the Carolina tight end. Hearing all of you out there say who exactly.
Nobody's waking up saying, wow, can't wait to watch Chris Manhertz today.
Exactly.
Sporgy.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Hey, what do you want to da-da-da? I don't know. What do y'all think we should da-da-da? Well, what did we da yesterday? Yesterday. All the dolls feel like the same doll these days. I know. Like, is today Monday or Tuesday? Today is Thursday. Oh, no, I forgot to call my mom on her birthday. Oh, no. No.
These days, nothing is normal and everything is weird. But you could still save big when you switch to Progressive. That won't change. Not today or any day.
Quote today at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth, and always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth, and as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast, and check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth, and always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Sporgy.
All right, how about the Minnesota Vikings at the Houston Texans? The last of the early games. Well, big early slate, but not a whole lot of good matchups.
The battle of the two disappointing defenses. Two defenses that were supposed to be a lot better than they are.
I started the year with the Vikings defense, and
So
that
did
lasted a week. They were negative points the first week, so I dropped them, and that was a good move. So yeah, I'm sure there are going to be a lot of Justin Jefferson picks this week. But is that going to fly?
No,
is that going to be a legit?
You're still starting Adam Thielen,
Minnesota, or is that just a one-hit wonder?
It's Adam Thielen's the guy.
Thielen's the guy.
Dalvin
Kirk Cousins isn't the guy.
Kirk Cousins is the $30 million bust. Boy, remember he was the highest paid quarterback. Now he's barely better than Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that's an insult to Phillip Rivers.
But Dalvin Cook seems to be rolling, doing his thing. So you're starting him.
Of course you are.
I think the fact that Kyle Rudolph has been a factor tells you all you need to know about Minnesota.
He had a touchdown. He had a highlight reel
That's what I'm
touchdown.
saying. It's been a while since we've heard his name. That's what I'm saying. He was the hot tight end 5 years ago. Now he's in the old and busted range, and the fact that we're hearing his name again, it's
touchdown dependent now.
Yeah,
it's like when we do pretenders and contenders. This Vikings are a pretender.
Yeah. Texans, man, I have a lot of Deshaun Watson, and I'm getting nervous.
David Johnson. Okay, so now that I have Fuller on his right team, is he healthy?
I mean, yeah, but I dropped him 2 weeks ago. He's had one good game.
It's been effective.
Yeah, he's had one good game.
I think he's this year's Juju Smith-Schuster. He just can't handle the number one role. Getting blanketed by that top corner isn't working out for him.
I have seen a couple articles in the last week that are talking about Houston's been kind of kicking the tires on Antonio Brown.
Yeah, but will the league even allow him back?
No, well, yes, after week 8.
Yeah.
So week 9 is the earliest we'll see him.
He's halfway through suspension.
Yeah.
They backed up the Brinks truck for Watson. They need someone at receiver. I mean, yeah, he's a good quarterback, but the garbage receiver core he has.
If you got an empty roster spot, it could happen in like 3 or 4 weeks when that suspension's over.
Yeah.
But you know what? I did that a few leagues last year, and it didn't work out well.
Same here.
Just a waste of a roster spot. I'll let that be someone else's problem. I got 99 problems, but AB ain't going to be one of them.
Correct. But yeah, Texans, David Johnson is pretty much who you're starting. Everybody else, I mean, Deshaun Watson isn't even a for sure starter right now. I mean, I keep hearing his year gets significantly easier starting this week. He started off with Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and what was it? Kansas City. So,
well, I have to think that the drum is beating on the clock, may be ticking on Bill O'Brien's time in Houston.
Yeah,
I think the trade of D-Hop might be the undoing of his career in Houston. Anyway,
yeah, I still don't understand that one.
Yeah, I think there was a little personality conflict, and I don't think he respected his coach, and his coach said, "You're gone." And yeah, Texans fans are going to be suffering the fallout of that for years.
Yeah.
Oh, we got another lopsided beatdown coming when the New York Giants visit Los Angeles to take on the Rams.
The Giants.
You guys buying Robert Woods?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I am.
Got paid.
Not any,
Good.
so I'm not buying him that way. But you know what? I'd say he's a starter right now, especially against the Giants.
So you're starting him and Cooper Kupp? You starting any other Rams?
I don't know.
Has Higbee been playing good?
By committee. Who's the running back of the week? Is it Darrell Henderson? Is it Melvin?
Probably.
Or what about Cam Akers? Is he ever?
Where he been?
Injured.
He's still hurt, I think. So yeah, that's pretty risky to start any of them. But you're playing the New York Football Giants. You're starting Tyler Higbee.
Yeah,
probably.
Probably starting the Rams defense this week.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
And no Giants. None.
None. 0 Giants worth owning, worth playing.
Yep, I think the 2 New York teams are duking it out for the number 1 pick this year.
In New York City, you can just sit out of football this year.
Well, here's a decent game finally. 1:25 p.m. Eastern Time. The New England Patriots visit Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Chiefs. So do you think that short week will affect Kansas City? I don't. I think they're going to wax New England, but Bill Belichick.
I don't know about wax. I think it's going to be a great game.
We'll see. I'm not sold on the New England Patriots with Cam Newton yet.
Yeah, I love that team. I think they're doing great.
If there's anybody that can figure out a way to at least slow down that Kansas City offense, it's probably Bill Belichick.
It's true. I'll tell you, the only Patriot I see we're starting, though, is Edelman.
Edelman, yep. Unless you're in a PPR, then maybe White. Avoid Rex Burkhead, as we've already advised. Avoid Sony Michel. He's got his semi-annual big game under his belt, so it'll probably be another month, 6 weeks before he does that again. And it's certainly not going to happen in Kansas City, I don't believe.
Yeah.
I have Newton as a backup in
I have Newton.
a lot of leagues. I like Newton. I think he's been playing good.
Yeah, they got lucky to get him.
Yeah, I got him as a backup, too. I started him last week. Kind of got bit on the ass in that case. But
Chiefs, though.
Yeah, Chiefs, the usual suspects, right? Mahomes, Edwards-Helaire, Tyreek Hill. Kelsey, yeah.
Yep, some people have even been taking flyers on Mecole Hardman. That's a hit or miss every week.
Yeah.
It's a lottery ticket. You could scratch it and win $500, or you could throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably not a ticket I'm going to scratch. But you mentioned all the big ones. Patrick Mahomes, not Pat Mahomes. His mom, very adamant about that. But yeah, I like the Chiefs in this game. I think they'll have too much for New England, but it will be interesting to see how Belichick game plans them. See if they can do better. They can't do any worse than the Ravens did.
It's true.
And the Buffalo Bills at the Las Vegas Raiders. This could be
Best team in New York.
This could be a good game.
I would say, yeah, this.
If we see the Raiders we saw on Monday night at home, this could be a good game. Buffalo has been very impressive. Josh Allen, man. I wish I had drafted him. I don't have him on a single team, and I am feeling left out of that party.
Man, I'll tell you, he was a flyer pick for me in one of my money leagues, like the round right before my defense. And boy, has that paid off. He's just been a locked-in starter. I don't think he's given me anything less than 30 fantasy points the entire season. And well, look, they're the Bills are for real last week's game, right? The Rams, they disappeared the Bills disappeared in the second half of that game. The Rams battled back, and then Josh Allen just marched his team down the field, and they won that game.
Yeah, Allen's the real deal, and I think Stephon Diggs is a big part of that. So you're starting Stephon Diggs this week.
Yeah. Now that being said, I think you're done with people you're starting on Buffalo.
Yeah, the running attack is really nondescript, non-existent. I think Zach Moss is hurt.
He is.
Yeah, I'm staying away from that backfield for sure. So you got Josh Allen and you got Stephon Diggs. On Buffalo, moving to the Las Vegas side of the ball, it's Josh Jacobs and Darren Waller, and that's really about it.
Yeah, no receiver of note in Oakland. Derek Carr is just average.
Las Vegas.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. Yeah,
At least not the Vegas Raiders, like the Vegas Golden Knights are actually called Vegas, not Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
The Raiders are actually the Las Vegas Raiders. This means something to somebody like me and Jack was born there.
Yes, I was. Second favorite team now. I've been watching Raider games.
Yep. Well, got to find somebody else to be interested in because my Philadelphia Eagles are going on the road to San Francisco Bay to take on the 49ers, and I believe probably Jimmy Garoppolo is not likely to play. Don't know if that's going to help.
Oh, he's targeting return.
Oh,
he's targeting return for this week.
That's not such a bad thing as an Eagles fan, but I don't. San Francisco
He did not practice today, though.
San Francisco has got a ton of injuries. They still got tons of guys injured. So do the Eagles. So this is like the war of attrition here. Carson Wentz's play has been abysmal. I don't see him getting any better in the San Francisco Bay. I don't know. This is going to be on Sunday night. The world is going to see just how bad the Eagles are playing, I think. I think the 49ers will run with this. But from a fantasy standpoint, it's kind of ugly because you got Miles Sanders for the Eagles and probably Zach Ertz. That's probably it. There's no receivers of note for either team. And, maybe keep an eye on Brendan Ayuk for San Francisco just in case, just to evaluate him for future waiver consideration.
Like if Kittle comes back, I mean,
Kittle is questionable. I heard he might come back this week. So just like with the Lions' luck as an Eagles fan, it'll be my luck that Kittle and Garoppolo come back this week and put up a 40-burger on the Eagles.
But yeah, the Eagles 49ers, not really from a fantasy standpoint. Yeah, you got Not really too many people you're starting.
Unless Kittle makes it back.
Yeah.
Kittle and Ertz. And then Monday night, the Atlanta Falcons, who blow leads every week against the Green Bay Packers. I don't even think Atlanta will have the lead to blow this time. I think Green Bay is looking like a well-oiled machine. But let's just go step back for fantasy perspectives from the Atlanta Falcons. You're probably going to start Matty Ice. He'll throw for 450 yards and 2 picks.
And lose.
Calvin
Ridley? Well, Calvin Ridley's a must start. I think Julio Jones is injured.
Mm-hmm.
So Ridley's been putting up a great season.
Russell Gage is in the concussion protocol, so he's probably not playing. Hayden Hurst? Yeah.
Maybe. Probably a notch below Mike Gesicki and Jared Cook.
And it seems Todd Gurley has sank to the pedestrian level on the Falcons. I heard a good...
Yeah.
I heard
Brian Hill?
Yeah.
See the back?
I heard a good stat today that Atlanta is one of the teams that's passing the ball the most, and Todd Gurley's only been targeted 3 times. That should tell you everything you need to know.
He either has hands of stone or his hands of stone.
Yeah. So it's going to be a pass-first offense in Atlanta. That they've made that very clear this year so far. Maybe he needs to include some running because they're 0-3. But
so you're starting now Aaron Rodgers, who fell pretty late in most drafts this year. I got him as my backup in a couple leagues. And, I wish I'd have started him over Lamar Jackson the other day.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk?
Right.
So take a look at that.
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones for sure. Maybe the Lazard King if Devontae Adams doesn't play.
See, with no Devontae Adams, I want none of that receiving core because you don't know who it's going to be.
I'd still go with the Lazard King. Atlanta's secondary has been picked apart this year. Somebody's going to catch some balls. But now that I cut MVS in 3 leagues, it's likely to be him.
Right. Yeah. And
those guys are Hail Marys. We got all the solid plays out of that game.
And no tight end of note in Green Bay.
One kicker footnote: Atlanta's kicker Young-Ho Koo, I think it is pulled a groin, and he is going to be replaced for this game. So I got a few leagues where I had him in, and he was actually, I think he, at least going into last week, he was the number 1 kicker.
He was,
and looks like that ship has sailed. So how can kickers get injured? Come on, jeez. So that's about it for week 4.
Do you remember your bold prediction last week?
I'm trying to remember what it was because I think I got it right.
We're going to have to start writing these down. Do you remember what mine was? Because I don't.
I barely remember I think I picked the Raiders over the Pats, which did not happen.
I don't even remember what I picked.
I'm trying to look here.
Let me see here. We're going to have to write these down. I'm writing them down. I got a Post-it note here. Next week we will be on the ball. Kind of like when I was a salesman running a weekly route and trying to sell something. Next week. I buy next week.
Part of me wants to say you picked the Lions over the Cardinals, but I don't remember.
I know I picked the Cardinals to beat somebody. I might have done that. We'll have to listen to that. But let's just focus on this week because last week was last week. So let's see. What can we come up with this week for the bold predictions? Anybody want to go?
I'm looking.
I'm also looking.
It's a tough one. But there's going to be some upsets. There always is. I really want to pick the Browns to beat Dallas. I don't think it's going to happen.
I wouldn't do that.
That's going with my heart and not with my brain. Could the Lions conceivably beat the Saints?
No.
We can't pick the Tennessee-Pittsburgh game because there might not be one.
Like we bold prediction that game actually happens.
Yeah. This is a tough one. I'm gonna let's see here.
I'm gonna take the Raiders over the Bills.
Bold.
It's a good one. That's bold, and I like the Raiders played well at home on that Monday night. Maybe that's Maybe they like their new home. Okay, I'll go with the Carolina Panthers over the Arizona Cardinals.
Wow, that's bold.
It's very unlikely, but something about when Arizona goes east, playing in that Eastern time zone. But we'll see. Hey, it's a bold prediction. Seems like every week I either pick for or against the Cardinals. I might as well stay on that trail. So Carolina over Arizona this week. So we got Chris with the Vegas Raiders over the Buffalo Bills. We got JR with the Carolina Panthers over the Arizona Cardinals. What about you, Jack?
Give me a Tennessee Titans ending the Steelers' undefeated streak.
They're not going to play.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
I take that one off the books because I don't know what's going to happen.
All right. Let me pick
I'll put
again.
a footnote there that you picked that first, but you need a contingency. How's that?
There's a philosophy that you talk things into existence. For that reason, give me the Browns over the Cowboys.
Oh,
why not? Why not?
Oh, that would be a one.
They are called bold predictions.
They are.
If I was bold, I'd pick the Washington football team over the Ravens. But I'm not that dumb.
Yeah, just that would be like picking the Eagles over the 49ers. I think the Eagles may not win a game for a long time. Because have you seen their schedule? At the 49ers, at the Steelers, home against the Ravens, and then they play the Giants on October 22nd.
Hey, you get a win in October.
3
We're
weeks.
getting Micah Parsons. Micah
3
Parsons
weeks
is
in a
an
row,
Eagle.
and then the Giants, I think, will pull it off. And then we play the Cowboys.
Micah Parsons is going to be an Eagle.
So I'm looking at probably 3 more losses before it gets better. Hope I'm wrong, but I'm not going to pick that bold prediction. All right, I think that's about wraps it up. Any final comments? Chris, Jack, anybody? Anything we should be looking for this weekend? Let's just hope that the COVID crisis is kept to a minimum. If this thing spreads to any more teams, who knows what could happen. Hate to see the season jeopardized. It's been fun so far. But we got to remember we're still in this pandemic and everything can change quickly.
I figured it would be a team down south, be the first one to get it.
Well, no use speculating, but I mean, 9 times out of 10, this is because somebody strays away from the plan and does something they're not supposed to be doing and exposes.
Pull the Lou Williams.
Yeah, want to get some chicken wings.
Yeah, at
a strip club.
Strip joint.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no more late night food at the strip joint.
Hey, I still think it's what we're coming into week 4, and is what it was like. They said it was like 3 Titans players, one of their personnel, and then they had the one guy from Chicago. There's been 5 infections in 4 weeks, where I believe baseball by like 2 or 3 weeks in, there were entire teams that had, so.
Well, kudos to the NHL. They got through the entire thing with no issues, and they crowned a champion.
Well, yeah, when you have the bubble in Canada, that happens.
What's with the NBA? They had the bubble too. I believe the NBA got relatively unscathed. So.
Well, it's tougher when you have to travel.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
All right, everybody. Good luck next week in your games. I'm 2-1 in my top money league. So when you're in 11 leagues, I pick one that's my league that I'm going to talk about most. And I am 2-1. I took my first L this week. Already gone over the players that underperformed, but you know what? What I've learned over the years is you stick with your horses, and you're going to have off weeks like that. Hopefully, the same horses come back strong this week. Good luck to all of you. May your fantasy teams win this weekend.
Yeah, I look at last week is a stat correction week for a lot of people. Some people it's going to make their stats look better. Some people it's going to bring their stats back down to earth. There's always weeks like last week. They happen from time to time. So
yeah, well, all you have to look at last week to find out what a weird week it was is the Eagles tying the Bengals, which they tied the Bengals I think 8 years ago. So ties don't happen very often. The Eagles don't play the Bengals very often, and there's 2 ties in the last 3 meetings. Mind-boggling. I'll leave you with that.
All right. And remember, we are on Twitter at the Fantasy Hack. You got questions, hit us up. We're there on Sunday, generally in the morning, sometimes throughout the game. So hit us up there, the Fantasy Hack at ChristopherMedia.net if you want to email us. Also check out the big show. Sporgy is back. It's me and Ice. Rich is going to be joining us this week, so that's back as well. That's on Thursdays. It's at ChristopherMedia.net, where there is a PayPal button. There is an Amazon banner if you want to help us out. And where do you listen to us? Everywhere. We're in the Amazon ecosystem now. Amazon Music's in the podcast game. We're there. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spreaker.com, the iHeartRadio app, Stitcher, anywhere there's a podcast, you can check us out. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Adios, amigos.
If I learned one thing from this great game of baseball, it's that she'll humble you. You think you've got it figured out, you check the standings, and you're in last place again. I'm Eric Rubino, Fantasy Baseball GM, and I can put my team in position to win every single time, but I can't play the games, people. At least Progressive's Name Your Price tool has options based on my budget. It never lets me down, unlike my pitching staff. Amateurs!
Get options based on your budget with Progressive, even if you're not a legend in your own mind. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.